Hi, my name is Brett Larson, and the topic I will be presenting is on the problems with some of the transfer guidelines there are for the student athlete at Division I colleges. The student athletes that I'm referring to are the ones that are, kind of the special case transfer needs, such as a student athlete who may be attending a school and may need to transfer back for family needs such as illnesses, or let's say a coach leaves in the middle of the season or gets fired, or there's some corrupt act such as the Baylor incident where there was a player murdered. Granted, they were at that situation released and granted to be able to choose another institution to attend, but that is kind of a rare case in itself. And then also injuries, and with the family needs and the injuries, sometimes there is a need to, if a student's thousands of miles away from their family, they'll need to go ahead and make that decision to be closer to home. And these are kind of the cases that I feel as if the students shouldn't have to sit out that year mandated by the NCAA. The NCAA bylaw states that a transfer student from a four-year institution shall not be eligible for intercollegiate competition at a member institution until the student has fulfilled a residence requirement for at least one full academic year. That fits all cases. So even the student athletes with the family problems or the illness, or coaching changes, corruption, whatever it might be, these student athletes are all thrown into the mix as well. And the Baylor incident's a great example of something that may happen. I know there's been many cases where a coach is fired in the middle of the season. Let's say, take for instance even Kansas State, Ron Prince, fired with 3 games left. What's going to happen with a lot of his athletes come next year? If they do decide to transfer, then they're going to have to sit out a year, and that's something that I just don't really agree with, because it's really out of their control. I have a couple of resolutions. I know that getting the rule changed probably isn't the most realistic. A resolution can't really be conquered quickly. Realistically, my resolution is to help all the transfer students, because I feel they all, in one way or another, are leaving their institution for one reason or another, whether it be the family need or get closer to home, or any of the other items that I may have mentioned. And I just feel as if these students are at greater need, more so than maybe the traditional student that's been there for a couple of years. Doing our part in these situations involves helping the transfers feel at home, and doing our part. It's our job to take these students under our wings. A couple of different theories that I looked into are the typology theories. They're kind of used in the Howard Hamilton book to see how students view and connect with their environment. And I think it's important for us to really, see what these student athletes are going through from the, transitional period of, whether it be coming from a school across state or a school across the country. All the administration and advocates for the student athletes must understand how the students view their transition so that we can relate. The psychosocial student development theory developed by Chickering also is an important aspect in this. It says that it will help build confidence and eventually develop a new identity to help with the transitional phase for the transfer. Another kind of theory that I looked into, or Glass and Harrington, they believe that four-year institutions should seek effective ways of reaching out to these students, perhaps through counseling, tutoring, and mentoring, in an effort to help them adjust more effectively to the academic and social life of the school. And I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to get at, is that the resolution shouldn't necessarily be I'm going to go to the NCAA and we're going to get this changed. And as simple as that, there's going to be our own transitional period where these special cases aren't going to be, this isn't going to be something that's changed overnight. And until the NCAA takes a deeper look at it, it's our job not to only help these special cases, but I think, it's our job to help all transfer students, because they're coming in a little disadvantaged. They're not getting the attention that maybe a freshman would be, an incoming freshman would be. Chickering also talks about how important campus relations can be, how we must be proactive in our attempts to prepare for these students. The last two theories that I kind of looked at were Hinkle. He stated that professionals generally prefer to provide counseling, performance enhancement, and assistance during transitional periods, and concentrating on personal counseling. As we all know, transitional periods are about the toughest times of our lives. We don't really know what's coming next. And like I said, it's our responsibility to help this transition be very smooth for these students, not only as athletes, but as people as well. And then the last one, Chickering and Reeser suggests that student athletes must master developmental tasks, such as developing competence, managing emotions, and this moves them towards the autonomy toward interdependence. And an extra area that I would think would be very helpful to kind of wrap all this up is to have a full-time psychologist, like we kind of talked about, sports psychologist earlier in our class. I know we had one at Wichita State where I received my undergrad, and he was very beneficial to the student athletes, especially the transfer students, trying to help them fit in and feel more comfortable in what they're doing. And I know I've kind of gotten off a base a little bit from where I'd started with the special case needs for the transfer students, but what I'm kind of trying to wrap all this up in is that all transfers really, really need to be taken under the wings of, the student affairs and the advisors and in all cases, because, my resolution could be as simple as, I would form a committee and, sign a petition to get this rule changed. But I know that's probably not realistic, and I would like to accomplish something that maybe we could eventually, starting tomorrow, put into effect. The ultimate goal here is to smooth the transition for the student athletes in these transitional periods. And with that said, that's pretty much my resolution, and it all kind of wraps up everything that we've been talking about in class and through my readings. Is we just have to care, and we really have to put ourselves out there and learn more about every type of student, whether it's a incoming freshman, a transfer student, or whatever it might be. So with that said, that's the conclusion of my presentation. My name is Brett Larson, and thank you for viewing.